All right, so here is one more crazy consequence from the COVID-19 pandemic where they locked us up. They started doing all kinds of crazy tech and surveillance stuff. Well, this is uh, one of those that we just didn't even think about. But apparently, home insurance companies are now using drone footage in order to spy on people to decide on whether or not they were going to maintain their coverage. So this was put out by the Daily Mail. They cite actually CBS 8, which is from Boston. Across the country, homeowners have reported having policies being suddenly dropped after insurers captured aerial images with drones and noticed problems. So they're flying over the houses and they're like, hey, you need to clean this up, you need to clean that up. Otherwise, we're going to drop you from your insurance. Says insurance expert Carl Sussman told CBS 8 that the tactic is nothing new, but can feel invasive, awkward, and a little weird if you do not know when it's happening. Yeah, no kidding. They're going to fly over. What if you're in your pool naked and they decide to fly over with their drone? Homeowners, not that, I mean, I don't know. I don't do that, but maybe some people do. I'm just saying. I don't have a pool. Homeowners have claimed unannounced drones have captured debris, drain pools, or moss growing on roofs, all of which have led to policies being dropped. Malden resident John Endremont told Boston 25 News that he was blindsided by his insurer suddenly demanding he make expensive repairs and then telling him his policy was canceled. Malden resident says that in entrapment, Dentrontment, that's an interesting last name, Dentrontment, has owned his Malden home for more than 40 years and has held the same insurance for the whole time without an issue. Then last August, he said he received a letter from his insurer detailing expensive repairs he had to make. He said they told him to get the moss off the roof, trim the tree back that had branches hanging over the house, and get some, in their case, they said, some shingles. How would they know that without flying something overhead? I mean, that's how they would know: moss off the roof, trim the tree back that's hanging over the house, and get some shingles. I mean, you can't go to like Google satellite. You don't know when that picture was taken. So they would have to be actively flying a drone over your house. He got the tree work carried out and started getting estimates for the rest of the work, which soon added up. But then in November, he said, I got a notification that they had decided to cancel my homeowner's policy. His daughter suspects that the company had used a drone to take photos of his home without telling him, allowing them to find defects that they never had found before. Emily Rogan with the consumer advocacy organization United Policyholders told Boston 25 News that the tactic is growing more common. She said, there were a lot of big changes during COVID when there were more satellite inspections different ways. And a lot of industries really leaned into that technology. There you go. Just another ramification of COVID and what they did to us, those bastards. And what we're seeing now is that it's becoming more commonplace, whether a drone image or from a satellite. They have more access to data about you as a policyholder and about your property, and they're using that to choose their customers. Goes on to say, last month, the Wall Street Journal reported a dramatic increase in reports from consumers who'd been dropped by their insurers on the basis of an aerial image. A dramatic increase in them doing this to people. Insurance companies have drones, manned planes, and high-altitude balloons at their disposal for area surveillance, according to the Journal. High-altitude balloons? You mean it wasn't China? It was your insurance company. That actually makes more sense. The Geospatial Insurance Consortium, which carries out aerial surveillance, said it has photographed 99% of the homes in the U.S. Yeah, sounds like that balloon really was from the insurance companies. China says, not our balloon. Right. Insurance companies never copped up to it. They have 99% of the homes in the U.S. photographed from above. But the tech is imperfect, according to the Journal, who said companies have dropped customers over images that are outdated or misrepresented. Right, so they don't want to rely on outdated satellite imagery. You could get that from Google. You can do an aerial and satellite and see things. But that's why they would then use drones, right? That's why they would deploy drones. And now this has happened since COVID-19. Wow. Well, here's where it gets worse. This is where it gets into the territory of you will be happy and you will own nothing. According to Grok, that's Twitter's AI, someone called Not the Wisest, who was actually quite wise when they asked this question, asked Grok, what will a mortgage company do if you can't get home insurance? Grok says, if you cannot obtain home insurance, a mortgage company may take certain actions to protect their investment. They may purchase force-placed insurance on the property, which is usually more expensive than a policy you would buy yourself. This insurance covers the lender's interest in the property and is paid for by the homeowner through their monthly mortgage payments. If you fail to maintain the required insurance, the lender could also potentially accelerate the loan, meaning they could demand immediate payment of the full outstanding balance. In the worst case scenario, if you continue to be unable to secure insurance and cannot make the required payments, the lender could initiate foreclosure proceedings to take possession of the property. You will own nothing and you will be happy. Could you imagine how they're going to use this? I mean, the various ways. It's not just finding moss on the house and tree branches that are maybe dangerous and missing shingles. No, I mean, they could use this type of imagery for anything. Just imagine like an ultra woke insurance company that says we don't want to insure anybody who we morally and ethically disagree with on certain issues. So if you have a Trump sign in your yard, we're dropping you from the insurance. We'll come up with some reason. We don't even have to come up with a reason. It's in our terms of service. We could just decide to deny you just because we don't like your politics. We've gotten word, just like how the government did with social media companies, when they said censor this account, silence this account. What if the government started getting in with the insurance companies saying, hey, we think that these people are terrorists, all these January 6th protesters, all of these Catholic moms, all of these parents that go into the teachers' conferences that are angry at the school board meetings, they're all terrorists, potential domestic terrorists. And so give us the information. What do they got going on? And then for any given reason, just like for any tweet or any post on Facebook, they could suddenly say, you know what? You're silenced, you're censored, you're canceled from your insurance company, your insurance policy, which means we're going to either skyrocket the rates or we're going to accelerate your mortgage or foreclose on you, and you will lose everything. It's one of those things that we couldn't even imagine. I didn't even think ever that people could be debanked in this country, that PayPal would drop people and tell them, you can't even, or that banks would drop people because of, like Mercola, who was teaching people more natural methods on how to heal their bodies, and that's considered criminal, and they actually debanked them. I mean, I never thought that would happen. So what could they do with this new weapon? That is a very, very scary thought and a very, very, very scary question. Thank you for watching this clip from the full Kim Iverson show, which you could catch just by heading to that link down below, KimIversonShow.com. You can watch the full show from what you just watched, or you could catch the full show live Monday through Friday, live streams, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern at KimIversonShow.com. See you then. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Never miss an episode. Never miss a clip. Never miss a segment. Thanks, guys.